What is going on, guys? We are back with the Residual Earners Podcast, episode 17. We have an unbelievable episode coming to you today. I'm Jordan.
I'm Presley.
And we have a special guest, Alex Anagnostis.
Terrible. Just really butchered it.
But he is a customer service guru, one of my good friends. And today we're going to go over the importance of customer service within a business and how to have a customer service facing company that keeps customers coming back. But first, as always, we are doing this week and next week. We are doing the free book giveaway. 5 of the coaches' books. You get 1 of each signed, and you also get a 15 to 20-minute Zoom with Presley to go over how you can be successful. All you have to do is leave a comment down below, free books, like the movie, and subscribe to the channel, and we will pick 5 lucky winners. We're doing it for 2 more weeks, so 2 more episodes, and then we will get in touch with the winners. But yeah, we're happy to be here today. Looking forward to this episode going over customer service. And
hey, I want you to do one more thing.
I can do one more thing for you.
I want you to say Alex's last name again.
Anagnostis.
That was much better.
Yes.
I feel vindicated. A little more respect in the air now.
Alex A. from Vegas.
There you go. There you go. That's
how I always
makes it easier.
Oh, but what is going on, guys? Give a little update on Presley real quick. You want to go over your last week?
I guess I can. I mean, it's like the medical show because 2 weeks ago it was about Nana.
We're thinking about changing our channel to a medical channel.
Yeah, I'll give the nutshell version, but let's see. We did the podcast last week.
Yep.
Finished filming it. Jordan and I are going to go eat. My chest tightens up. Never had a chest tighten up, but I just thought maybe it's from lifting weights or something. And then 2 or 3 minutes later, my jaw tightens up. So I go in and Dr. Google, I Dr. Google it and say heart attack symptoms, just because it crossed my mind. And one of them was your jaw could hurt or tighten up. And I'm going, oh no. So we were going in different cars. I called Jordan, said, I'm running by the hospital. I just want him to check it out. I'm sure it's nothing. And we got there and they did a quick EKG. I sat back down in the lobby, and like a minute later, they're calling me back, and Jordan had got there by then. We turned the corner in the emergency room to go to our little room, and a doctor and 4 nurses were staring at me. And the thought crossed my mind, this is not good. And when I sat down, I mean, Jordan can tell this better, but when I got on that bed in that little room, he said that all 5 of them were working feverishly. And I had an IV in both arms, another EKG set up. They were sticking nitro under my tongue. And it didn't really concerned me a ton at that moment until the doctor looked at Jordan and said, we're going to have to care flight him to the big Presbyterian hospital. And when he told him that, I thought, they only do that if people are dying. And I'm thinking, I don't feel like I'm dying. I don't feel that bad. But anyway, to condense it down, we got there. The cardiologist literally met me at the door, did another EKG, says, I don't think you're having a heart attack, ran some tests. I ended up doing the cath lab where they go up through your groin into your heart and look all around. And get this, guys, my heart on the right side was 100% blocked. So they ended up putting a stent in. The left side was 70-ish% blocked. And he said, we may deal with that at another time. But, it's just by the grace of God that I'm sitting here with you guys today. I could have easily had a heart attack or a stroke. 4 days before that happened, I'm lifting weights and pushing 600 pounds on the leg press. And, I mean, straining every fiber in me. And I could have popped right then. But I thank Jesus that I'm sitting here, and I get to be here with you and Alex A.
Alex A.
Alex A. from Vegas. So,
and something real quick: the 70% on the left side are secondary arteries, not main arteries.
Yes,
why they're doing it a later date. But let's get on to the meat and potatoes, the good stuff. Alex, tell the people a little bit about you. This guy is a freaking stud, and has run multiple restaurants, and now at the golf club with us, head of food and beverage and service, and kind of go over your background and what you're special at, big guy.
Well, I'm Alex Anagnostis. I'm from Las Vegas originally. I've been in hospitality my entire life, from restaurants, hotels. I ran a skydive drop zone for a year. Just always customer facing, always having a great time with people. And it makes your life easy. It's exciting to go to work sometimes and hang out with people like you too and have a good time. Currently, I am the food and beverage director at a golf club called Dallas National. It's where I met you gentlemen. And now at a private space, the customer service is far and away just 10 times what you would expect at a regular restaurant or anything like that.
Definitely. And share a little bit. Obviously, you were at Ocean Prime, which is a big time steakhouse in Dallas. Kind of share your experiences there, how long you were there, and kind of the daily routine there.
I was at Ocean Prime for 10 years. We moved here from Las Vegas in 2010, and I jumped on board with them. Great experience. Cameron Mitchell's the owner. His big philosophy on customer service is yes is the answer. What's the question? So somebody walks up to you and you go, "Hey, I have a question about something." You go, "Yes. What is the question?" You just start it with yes, and then you just challenge yourself to figure out ways to make that happen. So, in a restaurant situation, somebody asks for something unique, then you got to go plead with your chef to make it, and you got typical situations like that where nobody wants to say yes, and when you have that tool behind you that everybody's trying to say yes, it makes life so easy. It makes things, customer interactions are easier when you're just trying to figure out how to make them happy.
Definitely.
Did you say Cameron had written a book?
Yeah, Cameron Mitchell has a book called Yes is the Answer, What is the Question? It's a great book. Kind of talks about his life growing up in Columbus, Ohio, starting in the restaurant industry, the troubles of opening your first restaurant, and what you kind of fall back on is a culture and philosophy of customer service. And that's how you become successful, not how well you cook a steak or how well you create a dish, or it's all customer service.
Definitely. And I think you have some statistics, Dad, that you found last night on customer service.
I did, and I'm going to throw this out there. I think I mentioned this in one of our segments, and that is I go to a restaurant called Texas Restaurant. It's here in Dallas. It's at George Bush Turnpike and Jupiter, and I go there probably 75% because of the customer service. You walk in, everybody's smiling, everybody is happy. They meet you at the door. They, if you go in more than one time, they know your name. And if you ask, "Hey, could I get a little extra of this on the side or whatever?" They don't question it. They just do it. And it kind of goes back to what you're saying, Alex. That's the reason I go there. I mean, it's just I feel good when I'm there. I feel important when I'm there. And I think that is the goal, if you're customer-centric, is to make people feel important. And I just think that's crazy good. But anyway, just a couple of statistics. This is from Salesforce now, guys. For this year, I think that came out in April. 95% of consumers cite customer service as important in their choice of and loyalty to a brand. 90% of Americans use customer service as a deciding factor when choosing to do business with a company. 78% of customers say the quality of service is fundamental to earning their loyalty and repeat business. 70% of U.S. consumers say they've spent more money to do business with a company that delivers great service. I mean, I could go on, but you get the point. And the thing that, as I was reading, from 2014 to now, that has just gone up exponentially of customers wanting and just believing they need great customer service. So that's not something that's declining. That's something that is going up. And that's one of the reasons we wanted you on here, Alex, is to let people know that if they're starting a business, that this is vitally important. And, Jordan can talk about it with our car business, but we were very customer-centric. We were talking from day one about how we wanted the customers to feel special. And what we were doing in subprime, that was not the norm. So we kind of busted out of the norm there to make people feel special. And that's all I got to say on that.
Definitely. No, I think, Alex, if you could discuss kind of how customer service can differentiate a business from its competitors. We saw it in the car business a lot, but, that's a little different because somebody buys a car once every few years. With in your space, customer service is so different because they can come back the next week and the week after that and the week after that. You create regulars, or people start saying, I don't want to go there anymore because the customer service isn't great. I didn't have a good experience. So it's so important in your line.
Yeah, I think just getting the right people in place to give what you want them to give is really the challenge, especially in my industry. I could go out there and be the star of the show every day, but I want my staff and my employees to be the stars of the show. So training is so key. It's important. We have three big words that we use: anticipate, communicate, and appreciate. So we anticipate the guest needs the second we know you're coming, not when you're there, not halfway through the meal. It's we know you're on the way. What does he like? What does he want? What does she want? What is his dad like? What can we do to make this? Is he going to bring a service animal? Should we put a little cup of water? Anything we can do to anticipate their needs, communicate to the rest of the team what you plan on doing, how you're going to do it, and then we just appreciate them for showing up.
Jordan, you never told me that I could take Remington and Gemma to Dallas National.
I have taken Remington. There are people that do take dogs.
Service animals.
Is that what they call it?
That's what we call
Is
them.
that what that one dog in the golf cart is called? Is a service animal?
Yeah, he's
So I could just say that it's my emotional support dogs, right?
yeah, I would never question that.
Yeah, no.
You seem pretty emotionally stable, but
It's because of
because of the dog. That's
My
the dog.
gosh, it's
He
the
was not
dogs.
emotionally stable last Wednesday.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds
wasn't
like he
either.
was pretty cool and calm. You were the
What are some companies that you've seen maybe worked for that would have what are the best customer service that you've seen out there?
You know, I opened the Wynn and Encore Hotel in Las Vegas, and working for Steve Wynn, I mean, day one in front of thousands of employees, the valet and housekeepers and maintenance, and he gets up and he says, I want everybody to act like you have a $10,000 bill in your pocket, and you just need to make customers happy. If you make our customers happy, we'll never question why you did it, as long as the result is a happy customer. So that was always something that resonated with how I approach people, how I went about doing my business. Is I got this $10,000 bill in my pocket, and however I can make you happy, then I'm going to go for it. So
Is that where you learned this business, hospitality? Where would you say you started with it?
you know, I started 15, 16 years old at Red Lobster. So walking across the street from my high school, you know, I'd get done with wrestling practice. I'd shower at the school, and I'd go be a busboy. And, you know, it's just with hospitality, with customer service, it's such a guilty pleasure to just give a great experience to somebody and blow them out of the water. That's what I just thrive on that. I never do it for a big financial gain, even though the money's great. I never do it for, because it's my job, because somebody told me to. It just feels so good to wow somebody, to give somebody something, the unexpected treat. You know, if you go to a restaurant, if you go anywhere, you expect the person at the grocery store to bag your groceries and check you out. But when they do something out of the norm, and it can be very small, it really it'll stick with you for a long time. It'll make you go back to Texas because they say, "Hi, Mr. Swaggerty, how are you? Great to see you again. Do you want your iced tea? You know, you remember I like iced tea? Unbelievable." And that's where I get my pleasure is just blowing people away like that.
Yes. Hey, we just experienced that day before yesterday.
You're talking.
Yeah.
At Blue Koi.
Blue Koi. I mean,
Alex, you'll like this. I've been to Blue Koi 3 or 4 times now, total. Blue Koi's sushi, right up the road.
hibachi.
Here.
Yeah.
Sushi, hibachi, they got it all. And there's a guy that works. Do you know the guy's name?
I don't know his name. I got to find his name.
You don't know his name, but he knows everything about us. I went in there the first time and ordered a couple different things, salmon, nigiri, and then I ordered one roll too. Come back in the next time, and the guy's taking an order, and I was like, Dad, do you remember, I like that roll I got last time. Do you remember what that is? He said, you got the Hawaiian roll. I was like, this is bizarre. It's been like a month, and that was my first time ever going in there and remembered it. Went back again. So this was the third time I went back. The last time I said, I don't like anything with
Cream cheese
in it. And so this time, he's standing there again. So the third time I've been there over a 3-month period. And I said, what do you recommend this time? And he's like, well, since you don't like cream cheese, I'd recommend that you go with these 2 rolls. And I'm going, this guy literally, I've been here 3 times, and he remembers everything.
Yeah.
And it blows me away.
Get his name. I'd like to.
Might want to steal him.
I'm always looking. This guy sounds great.
But Alex, can you say a time what's the most memorable thing your team has done for somebody when it comes to customer service?
Man, I'd have to
Besides
think on
driving Bruce home.
Yeah, I mean, and it's those things, right? The unexpected, and we're in such a unique space with the private club. Is that we know you, we know you're coming back. We're very intimate with you guys. Yeah, driving people home. You know, Mother's Day is this Sunday. I've been calling guys that I know have forgotten to make reservations for Mother's Day, and
do I have a reservation?
you do not.
Nor did he call you.
Put me with Bruce.
Now you do. You know, and it's just you could send all the email blasts and you could do all that stuff, but calling somebody and saying, hey, I was just thinking about you, and whatever that comes of it, you know, we do that all the time.
No.
It's just special little things, little treats. I know you like this. I threw it in your locker. I got a good deal on a bottle of wine. I got one for you. And we do that all the time, just to make it special. And then when we gain that equity with you guys and we make a mistake later on, it's not a big deal. So I teach my staff that a lot is, you know, if we're gaining equity and trust, when we do run out of soup or something goes wrong, a little mishap, which always happens, we're in the clear because we have that relationship with you guys.
I like what you just said about gaining equity with people. You know, in any line of business, customer service facing, as long as you're gaining equity, you're never going to be perfect. But as long as you've done your job great for so long, people are going to give you a hall pass for one thing that doesn't go exactly how they planned.
Okay, I got a couple of questions for you, Alex, that just came to mind. Obviously, when you're there and you're standing in the corner, your staff knows to take care of business. How do you make sure, and I'm sure people are thinking this, how do you make sure your staff's doing that when you're not standing in the corner watching?
Well, it's a great question, and you might lose sleep over it if you're the micromanaging type. But you know, I put faith and trust that they have the right training and that they have the right motives. So we don't even in restaurants, salesmanship is huge, but I've never thought salesmanship was more important than customer service. And you know, if you have the staff in place that their goal is to just give the best experience possible, not sell the most steaks or do the most of anything, then you can have faith that they're going to be okay without you. And I have a great staff right now. I adopted most of them when I started at that club, but you know, with the little adjustment in what your priorities are, it goes a long way.
You brought Francisco in.
I just brought Francisco in. He's been with me for 10 years since I moved here, and he's fitting in just perfectly. So,
you know, I'm going to ask this too, because a lot of folks are hearing you talk about, you know, opening big casinos and Dallas National and all this big stuff. You know, a lot of these folks that are watching, I'm guessing, are wanting to start a lawn business, a flower shop, a small little restaurant. can you take it down to that little small business and tell them how they would get started developing that culture and that customer service?
Yeah, I think it's really key to identify what you want your culture to be, and that's in any business. Do you want the sales, or do you want whatever it is, and it has to be communicated throughout the entire business. Every step you make, everything you do, you have to question: is this part of our culture? And every restaurant, hotel, casino, they have a different culture, a different philosophy. Their goals are completely different. But if you identify it early on and you stick to it, you get a lot of success, because everybody in your network knows that that's what you're going for. So,
I like that. When Jordan and I started the car business, our whole team saw Jordan and I. If a customer walked in and nobody greeted them, we greeted them. We had, for the buy here, pay here space, this was unheard of, but we had a Keurig machine. We had snacks. We had, hey, can I get you something to drink when they walked in the door? And they saw us doing it, and I think that just filters down.
yes. Yeah.
Lead by example. Let's flip the script here a touch and go the impact of poor customer service, what poor customer service can lead to, how it can lose you sales, the long-term effect. If you do not have good customer service, what are, the negative things that can happen?
Well, you definitely just touched on it. You lose revenue. I mean, that's first and foremost. Any business has to have a revenue stream that I know of. I've never been in a business that didn't.
That's kind of fundamental. You need revenue.
I'm trying to brainstorm what business we could get into that doesn't need revenue. But, if you're not giving the experience that people are expecting walking in the door, or even better yet, if you're not giving an experience that's better than what they are expecting, then there's a good chance they won't come back. There's a good chance that they won't become a regular or patronize your establishment multiple times a year. Presley said Texas is a place you go almost weekly for one of your meetings, and that was Dale Wanstadt started Del Frisco's. And one thing you look at Del Frisco's, and they've gone through some purchases and what have you, but they've had staff there for 30, 40 years. So Dale is taking care of the staff's taking care of the customers. You could sleep well at night knowing that everything went as well as it could, and your customers are going to come back happy.
But you can talk about Dale from Texas the other day. I know we mentioned it on last week's podcast.
Now, Dale is in his 80s now, and I sat down at the table and was there with a friend, and Dale comes walking by and stands there, and I certainly appreciate you guys frequenting our restaurant, and just stood there and talked. Didn't intrude and stay for an hour, but just a minute or two, and just that meant a lot. His daughter comes by, Shelby, and she's doing the same thing. Hey, can I get you anything? Everybody that walked by our table basically said, hey, what can we do for you? Do you need something?
Right.
And I mean that was a game changer.
Yeah.
That was a game changer. I got a couple of stats here on what you were talking about, Jordan. Negative customer service.
Lay it on us.
But the return on investment of good customer service, improved customer service, can increase company revenue 10 to 20%. The customer service influences future buying decisions for 94% of customers. The payoffs for valued great experiences are tangible, up to 16% price premium if you offer good customer service. People will pay more for good customer service. Investing in new customers is between 5 and 25% more than keeping a customer. So that customer service, if you can keep a customer, it saves you money that you don't have to go out and try to find another customer. I think that's huge. And the last one I got down here is 94% of customers are more likely to buy again after good customer service. I mean, people are going to leave if they're not treated right. I mean, it's that simple. If you've built up equity like you've talked about, you've done good for several visits, and then you run out of potato soup or whatever. Okay, they'll forgive that. But if they come in and their first experience it's negative, and then they come in again and something goes wrong and there's no equity there, you lost them.
Yeah.
And now I got to spend money to try to attract more customers.
Definitely. So let's go over strategies to train a customer focused team and explaining the importance of hiring for attitude and training for skill.
Yeah. You hit it on the head. Hire for attitude, train them. You could teach somebody with a positive attitude how to do, I would say, any job. But you're looking for the right person with the right focus, mentality, goals. I like personally employees that have hobbies outside of work. They like to read a book or they take care of a loved one. Anything where their motives and their intentions for this job are to enrich their lives outside of that work. So they're more focused usually on doing something really special at work because they need to get home and take care of whatever else their hobbies are, which I love.
You know, I'm going to ask this. Jordan and I were poor at this at the beginning, but that is be slow to hire and quick to fire. Mm-hmm. Jordan and I both have the attitude, come on, I'm going to talk to them and I'll get them going right. And obviously we give people chances. I'm not saying there's no chances, but Jordan and I, we would give people 8, 10 chances to, Jordan would go, okay, you've talked to them, I'll go talk to them, But after a while we figured out you give people a couple of chances because, people can change a little bit. But after a little while, if they haven't changed, do you finally go, okay, this isn't a fit, goodbye?
Oh, absolutely. I think early on for me as well, it was more pride. I hired this person. They interviewed so well. What did I see in them? I got to keep going back to what made me want to hire them, and the potential was there. And eventually, you have to suck it up and say, I made a mistake. It was, and that's
not their fault.
And
it's my fault.
I rarely make mistakes, so I think it just you have to suck it up and go, all right, well, this wasn't the right fit, and what a detriment one person could be to your team, and when you see that person not there anymore, I mean, the uptick in morale can be just monumental. Just getting rid of one person that's not doing the right thing or not living up to their end of the bargain.
Jordan and I guess, and it wasn't like we had to let a bunch of people go, but it's like every time we let somebody go, we look back and go, we should have done this 3 months ago.
Right.
I mean, we should have done this 2 months ago. I mean, it's like you just, and it's such a relief. And like you say, the morale of the whole organization comes up. And finally, after a while, we realized that, and we didn't take so long. But you're absolutely right on that.
Definitely. So let's go over the role of ongoing training and development to maintain high service levels. Obviously, I see you a lot, having team meetings, especially before events. You do a lot of events, so getting out in front, letting everybody knows what to expect every day. Go over kind of the ongoing training that you're doing to make sure that your team's performing at a high level.
Yeah, I mean, training's huge. We have a group text. We have multiple lines of communication to update on a change in a policy or how we set up a chair and a table, and things are changing constantly. With my staff, it's tough because we have 5 food outlets on the course, and I have to have people there at all times. So getting everybody together is unique. So when that opportunity comes for a special event, you really take advantage for a training piece as well, that I get to sit down with everybody and talk about a myriad of topics that we need to work on as a team. Right now we do a Friday weekly training. We've been talking about cocktails and kind of bar stuff, but that's going to turn into food discussions, and then it's going to turn into sales discussions. And what I find great about training is getting my team involved is really important to me. Is I don't want to stand there in front of everybody and just give a lecture. I want them to teach each other. So I assign specific something that somebody's good at. I say, you need to focus on that and tell the team how you do it. And it goes a long way in their love of their job and their morale with the team, but it also helps the team immensely, something that somebody else is really good at. So training's fun.
Let me ask you this. How granular do you get? I mean, do you get to the point where you go, okay, here's where we want the napkin. I want the fork here, the knife here. I want the water glass here. I mean, how granular do you go down in training?
I'm a big picture guy. I've worked in fine dining spaces that everything is exceptionally immaculate, perfect. I like to have my staff know those practices, know that you serve drinks on the right, you serve plates on the left, you pick up from the right. But I'm a little jaded by all that. I mean, you guys just want a great experience. It doesn't it doesn't have to be the perfect steps of service. It has to be good service. I always talk about instead of formality, familiarity. So I want to be familiar with you. Hey, how you doing? I'm going to touch you on the shoulder. I'm going to become your friend genuinely, not just because I want. Hey, buy the most expensive bottle of wine. It's how are you? Good to see you. How's your family? And that's not something you find in a fine dining setting where they're high and tight and they got their bow ties. So yeah, we have a way to do things. I want it to be done. Pull chairs out, walk people to the bathroom, get the fork on the left and the knife on the right. But however you do it, then that's fine, as long as you get it done.
You can put on your list now. How's your stent doing?
Yeah, I was going to save
the
that.
stent doing? Okay,
save that for next time. I'll come up with something new, I guess.
I know we've talked about a little bit your role within making sure how your team performs, but just talk about the leadership and fostering a customer-centric culture, because it's got to be steady. It's every day. It's got to be consistent. There's a lot that goes on, and for y'all that obviously none of y'all know Alex. His job's different from just the ordinary restaurant. There's so many different areas. There's multiple dining rooms. You have, a halfway house that's full service, basically. You're not getting steaks out there, but they're cooking. Their drinks are being served. There's items that have to be refilled out there. There's so many different areas delivering stuff to the course. There's so many different areas. So obviously you've also got to be on your game. So kind of go over your role and how, you cast that down to your team for that customer-centric approach.
Sure. That falls in the communication piece, the messaging, and really being clear with what your expectations are and what the customer or member's expectation is. We have 2 cabins on property that are booked all the time, so we serve them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Sometimes we cook inside the cabin for a more intimate thing. But all of that has to be communicated down. I can't do it all. I love to be on the floor. I love taking orders. I'm so selfish. I get my staff's way all the time because that's what I really enjoy. I love coming out and having a laugh and a conversation with you guys. But I can't be everywhere. So Halfway House is a good example of we open it every day, so that's easy for my staff to know what needs to be done out there. And then you have something like the cabins or the driving range, the performance center that has a full service bar that doesn't get staffed all the time. But, making sure your pieces are in place and communicating that what the expectation is and being as clear as possible. And everybody succeeds.
Definitely. And something you mentioned earlier, or it's the same kind of thing whenever you have, somebody that does something well, having them help with training other people. But discuss the importance of recognizing and rewarding great customer service within the team.
Yeah, that's part of the appreciation piece. I appreciate my staff. They appreciate you guys. It all trickles down that way. But we do a monthly F&B newsletter that highlights a staff member for doing something incredible. And it doesn't have to be incredible, but it's just somebody that goes out of their way to make a great experience. And it could be somebody in the kitchen that goes out of their way to make a great experience for another staff member. We're always looking for somebody doing something that is unexpected and rewarding them for that. And pointing it out.
You know, I've heard of companies that one team member can make a little note and like give it to you that, hey, I saw Joe just go above and beyond, just stuff like that. Where, you know, my buddy Randy Hedge always says, babies cry for it and grown men die for it. Recognition is huge.
It's key.
And you want to recognize the activities and actions that you're wanting, because that's going to drive people to do that. So I think that is so key. Another thing that I think this kind of visual is huge. I always tell people that when a customer walks in, to just imagine that around their neck they've got a sign that says, "Please make me feel special."
Yeah.
And that has always stuck with me. I'm sure I stole it from somebody. I don't have many original thoughts, but just pretend like they've got a sign around their neck that says, "Please make me feel special." And I think if we will keep that attitude in customer service, that's huge.
I'm going to start wearing that. I'm going to get that made.
You were grinning. I was wondering what you were thinking over there.
I want to feel special.
No, but I mean, does that not kind of give a mental picture? Like,
And it's the truth.
yeah,
It's,
I mean, and that goes for all of us. I mean, we
goes-
all like to feel that we're special. I mean, so I just think that's a great mental picture to have. Is they got a sign around their neck.
Awesome.
and nobody likes, on that point, nobody likes to be sold. Nobody, you go to buy a car, and you talked about a gentleman that you signed up in network marketing. You know, you don't want to feel like you're getting nickeled and dimed. You don't want to get sold on something. I'm already here to buy a car. Like, make me feel good about my purchase. Make me feel vindicated and special that I'm making a good decision, that I got the payments I like, or, you know, in the restaurant industry, it's the same thing. If I walk up and I just try to sell you the most expensive items, you start to lose trust in me, right?
Yes.
If you go, "What's your favorite thing?" "Well, I like the $1,500 bottle of wine." You've never had that. Don't lie to me. But if I go, "Hey, I've never tried this, but I think it's amazing," and you might like, you know, I'm gaining trust, and I'm not just trying to sell you something. And I think that relationship is so important to identify to your staff, to everybody, that you're going to sell expensive things. You're going to generate revenue if you're taking care of people genuinely.
No, amen. I'm going to throw this out there because I think this applies to kind of our topic of conversation. My mom, I think Jordan's grandmother, Gigi, was one of the most amazing ladies I've ever known. She worked in sewing factories and school cafeterias, though. But as far as a person, there was none better. Just a godly lady, and I am who I am because of her, which kind of in turn, Jordan's who he is because of her. But my point with that is, I really gauge people on not how they treat people that they feel like are above them or superior to them. I want to see how you treat the custodian. I want to see how you treat everybody. And, you know, there's people out there, guys, and I hope it's nobody that's listening to this, that if they feel like they're a little better than somebody, and by the way, we're not, but if you feel that way and you're treating somebody poorly because you feel like in the socioeconomic scale they're a little below you, that's a character flaw in my book, and I think that's one of the reasons I think we were successful in the subprime business, because we're talking to people that have bad credit, people that have struggled, but we didn't treat them as such. We treated them just like they could go into Sewell and buy a new BMW.
Right.
And I think for all of us, we need to understand that, you know, God created us all equal. Whether we make a little more money than somebody else or not is really a non-factor in how we should treat people. And I just think that's huge. I don't even know what got me into that, but okay.
That was a good rant. We
good
welcome.
thought.
We welcome your thoughts here. Any tools, technologies that you use now that help in the customer service realm?
You know, like physical tools, like a wine opener and a.
We don't have to go
No.
that granular.
I like. There's a lot of great hospitality books. We touched on Cameron Mitchell's, Kent Taylor, who started Texas Roadhouse, made a great book before he passed away. My favorite book is called Unreasonable Hospitality. I think Will Gadara was the author. They did 11 Madison Park in New York and just completely switched what you think about fine dining, like we talked about. It's not as formal as it has to be anymore. And just reading those books gives me a lot of tools to give to my staff and their mentality of what's important, what we're trying to accomplish, and how we're trying to treat people. So if that answers that question on tools.
Are there any softwares that are used in hospitality to, I know we talked about it at Dallas National, this was before your time, that, hey, Jordan's dad came in, this was his order. So next time he comes back in, make sure he likes his,
Yeah, Open Table is the most well-known for that. And the restaurants that use that successfully, obviously Open Table also does reservation service for you. And that's a lot of restaurants just use it for that. But their interface with customer stats, what they like to buy, what they eat. If your POS integrates with Open Table, it gives you so much information about preferences, about what they had the last visit, but it has to be used correctly. And I think a lot of restaurants that are successful with it are far and away blowing everybody out of the water.
I feel like anybody that that sets a reservation, why, if you have reservations coming in, why wouldn't you use it?
Yeah, but as a restaurant, if you're just using it to know that the Swaggerties are coming at 6 o'clock, and you're not uploading what the Swaggerties ordered last time, and you're not.
That's what I'm saying on the why wouldn't they use that other?
Oh yeah,
because it's like
because you're not training your staff to use it properly. You're not. Maybe you just don't understand the importance of recognition and understanding. But it's like I get the cheapest haircut I can. I go to Sports Clips, and
it doesn't show. Looks lovely.
Is it nice?
Yeah.
Oh, you're looking
Thank you.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Good customer service there. They pull up a chit and go, "Do you want the same as last time?" And it's just a little, like a 4 on the side, trim the top, and so you have Open Table, you have other resources, software, things like that you can compile so much data for your customer base that I don't understand why anybody doesn't use it.
So that's more like an omni-channel approach where everything is, the history and the data should be in there, and no matter what they're doing, you should be able to see what that customer likes. And I think that is huge.
Definitely.
Back to you not liking cream cheese.
Yeah, but my boy at Blue Koi, he doesn't use that. I can promise you he does not know my name or anything about me except what I like to order.
Well, and to that point, when I was at Ocean Prime, I had a lot of regular clientele that I only knew what they liked. And I never put that information into Open Table, maybe because I was greedy, maybe because I was lazy. But if the culture was that, hey, after your shift every day, just punch in what you kind of experience with those people, those regulars could have easily come in at any time I wasn't there and had the same experience. And so you touched on, if I'm standing in the corner watching my staff, they're doing a good job. But when I'm not there, that's one of those tools we can use to ensure that when the Swaggerties come to the club, they're going to get everything that they like, because we all know what they like. It's in a space. It's written down somewhere.
Definitely. Well, I think that pretty much sums up what I had down for today. Do you have anything else you'd like to throw in there?
Well, I'm going to throw a couple of businesses that I think have exemplary customer service, and y'all can comment on this, but one is Chick-fil-A. I can't tell you how many times I've walked into a fast food place and there's 20 people behind the counter back there, and you stand there for 5 minutes waiting for one of them to come up and ask you something. Mm-hmm. Man, Chick-fil-A, they're so accommodating. They're right there. I mean, the minute you walk up to the counter, they're talking to you. They make sure your order's right. I was even in a Chick-fil-A where it was freezing cold outside, and this lady and her 2 kids walked in. They'd been at a tire shop down the street a little ways, and they walked in to kill the time while they were fixing their car. And like you said, that taking Bruce home or something. I hope Bruce watches this and gets to know he's getting talked about. But anyway, the kind of the greeter lady out there at Chick-fil-A said, "Hey, when you finish eating, I'm going to drive you back to the..."
Incredible.
And I'm going, what other company does stuff like that?
Right.
The other one is Sewell. I mean, I don't know how big Sewell is. They may just be in the Metroplex. But if you're in the Metroplex, the Sewell dealerships, people will spend $2,000 or $3,000 more for a car just so they can have the Sewell service. Sewell, I drive a BMW, and when I take it to Sewell, they now have license plate recognition. When you pull in their service bay, they know who you are. They don't come and say, "Can I help you?" It's, "Hey, Mr. Swaggerty,
Yeah.
we see you're here for your service," or whatever. And I'm going, what other place does stuff like that? I mean, my wife bought a car that wasn't from Sewell. And I mean, she moaned and grumbled, and I mean, because they didn't treat her the same way.
Yeah.
So guys, just understand that. Again, back to my sign. People look at them like they got a sign around their neck that says, "Please make me feel special," because that is a game changer. And I think so many people overlook that. And I know sometimes you're so busy and you're short-staffed and you're this and that and the other, but I think customer service is at the top of the list. In my notes, the number one thing, where is it? The number one thing that people wanted out of all the customer service things, it was being treated like a valued customer. Out of the whole survey of everything they asked, that was the biggest thing is, again, make me feel special.
That's it.
Make me feel special. That's what I got.
Well, I think we kind of covered a lot of topics today. The impact of customer service, the impact of poor customer service, how to train your team to get the most out of them, tools, technology. We covered a whole lot. Is there anything else you'd like to throw out there, Alex?
Well, I just, I made you feel so special. You invited me to your show, so
I know.
that goes a long way.
Wow. Man. Now, you say that in jest, but there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
If you would have sucked, you wouldn't be sitting here.
Well, I wouldn't have
mean,
my
you
job.
wouldn't.
I would,
Yeah.
just.
I mean, Jordan is always talking about what a phenomenal job you do, and then obviously when I'm out there, I think the same thing as well. But you're pretty amazing at what you do.
Well, I appreciate that.
And if you sucked, you wouldn't have got thrown off my boat.
Okay, see? What did I say? We had 3 no topics, and you bring one up. Yeah.
You're getting to see a very small club here. Alex and I, me included, are the only 2 people that have actually fallen off Jordan's boat into the water.
I guess if we have to tell my side of the story, he had just bought the boat, and he was flying towards the dock to we're done for the day.
At 2 miles an hour.
No, you were flying, and he creates a huge wake, and I'm more worried about the boat than I am myself. So I'm like, I'm just going to jump for the dock. At the same time, a rolling wave hits the boat, and I just didn't make it. Did I come close? I think I came close.
You flopped off the side.
I think my flip-flop caught the edge of the boat. It was a whole thing. But
A lot of factors there.
a lot of factors, but the boat was fine. I was wet from my my bottom half down. It was a fun time. Something I'll never live down, apparently.
Well, I've got, a similar type story. I'm trying to keep the boat off
This
the dock.
is all on you, though.
To
Both of
keep
these
it
are
from
all on
rubbing
y'all.
and messing up the boat. I'm thinking of Jordan's boat. So I'm hanging on to the dock. Well, he comes running from wherever he had been, and he jumps onto the boat. Well, what a guy that weighs 190 pounds or whatever jumps onto the boat swings out. It goes away from the dock. So now I'm doing a plank. I'm doing a plank. I am
Right.
horizontal right there, hanging onto the dock, and my toes are
Digging your
holding
toes
onto the
in.
boat. And I'm trying to give him my hand and asking him to pull me back in the water. And finally, I just go, forget it. And I just turn loose and
That's
just
it. Going for a swim.
I just took a bath. luckily, it was kind of like with you. It was when we were leaving, so I didn't have to stay drenched long. But I don't know if you guys are even interested in that. But
So if anybody wants to come out on the boat with me, just leave a comment below. I'm happy to dump you in too. It's kind of the maiden voyage. That's how we like to do it.
It's a weird way to start your customer service on your fishing captain service.
We should have talked about that in the negative aspect.
That
of
is
customer
that is.
service.
I mean,
I was
I
wondering
think
why
to continue
charter,
to bring
my
it
charter
up,
business hasn't taken off.
it'd be like if I just continued to bring up if I had spilled soup in your lap, or I wouldn't continue to bring up the poor service that I gave you. But
No.
1-star Yelp review there for captain in that boat.
That's it.
Oh, I got one more question then about customer service, though. I'm sure in all your customer service, you have spilt soup in somebody's lap or something similar. How do you handle that?
I feel terrible. I mean, there's no way around it. You have to laugh at it. Hopefully they're not too upset. You always offer anything you can. Dry cleaning. I'll take you to the mall right now and go get you new clothes. Whatever it is, recognize that you made that mistake. And even if you didn't, even if something happened, sometimes a guest will grab a glass of champagne off your tray and it makes it uneven or what have you. But it's always your fault. You always feel terrible. And you just have to own it. And the hard thing is shaking it off. Most of the time, the customer, the guest, goes, "Don't worry about it. It's just my whole margarita in my lap." But no, it's okay. And now you're shaky, and you have to shake it off and laugh about it, and swim out of the marina. And
I literally had to.
yeah,
Yes. With my shoes on was a little more difficult,
yeah,
though.
it's a little squishy.
Well, the other similarity y'all both have is you both walked up the boat ramp to get out of the water. So
Was there an alternative?
no. Well, you get back on the boat, but y'all both walked out of the water up the boat ramp.
I was done with the boat.
The
at
walk
that
of
point
shame.
then.
That's it. But guys, thanks for tuning in today. We're lucky that Alex came on. We thank you, Alex.
Thank you, guys.
For coming.
This was fun.
I love Alex, and I hang out with Alex quite often. Remember, guys, we're doing the book giveaway, 5 copies of each of Coach's book, signed with a Zoom opportunity with Presley. Just comment below, free books. So I know you're in there. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we have 2 more weeks of that. So this episode and the next week, and then we'll pick a winner the following week.
5 winners.
5 winners. But we love you guys. We thank everybody for jumping on here. We've changed the set. We're continuing to try to improve. We've come a long way. We want to continue to strive to be better. So leave comments also of topics you want us to touch on for you guys, because we'd love to do that as well.
I want you to leave a comment and say if you like Jordan's interior designing, because if you've been watching us along, you can tell we've got a new couch, new chairs, new plants, new lights, new everything. So let us know how you're liking it. This is we've only been doing this, what is number 17, and this 17. Is our 4th, what's the word, iteration or whatever?
Rendition,
whatever it is, of our set. So
I got one more rendition that's on its way, and then that's it.
Well, I'll tell you, as a guest, I feel very comfortable. That's just a lovely couch.
Lovely.
We want you to feel comfortable. And then
put together by me this morning.
And then Jeannie, my wife, brought down some cinnamon rolls this morning.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
We're doing it. But again, thank you guys. Thank you, Alex. And we will see y'all next week.
God bless you guys.
Yep. Love you, big dog.
Love you.